He is a former Pro Bowler. He played 11 seasons in the NFL, and he's got one of the great personal stories of all time to make it to the league. He's TJ Houshmandzadeh. He joins us here in the Herd, along with Joy Taylor. I'm Doug Gottlieb. TJ, I want to start with the Patriots. The over-unders came out for the National Football League, right? That's the all right, do you think a team's going to win more or less than this? And the team with the highest over-under, 11 wins, is the New England Patriots. And factor in that, yes, they just won the Super Bowl, but they didn't have home field advantage throughout. And they lost their starting left tackle, Gronk retired, and they lost Trey Flowers as well. And Tom Brady is a year older. Am I wrong to think, and they lost not only a defensive coordinator, they actually lost two. Flores is gone, and then Greg Schiano suddenly up and left the team after a couple months on the job. Am I wrong to think we're buying into New England, we have no idea what they're going to throw out there?
It's every year, right? As long as, for me, as long as number 12 is under center, it doesn't matter. Gronk was hit or miss throughout the season, showed up in the playoffs. But for me, as long as they have Tom Brady on that team, they always have a chance. That for me, that over-under is about right.
Yeah, I think the problem with it to me is we're forgetting that Tom Brady was not great, was maybe not even good at the end of last season. And he's not alone. You know, you look at the Chargers and Phillip Rivers late in the season, he had some arm strength issues. Drew Brees, even playing in a dome, he had some arm strength. Like the older quarterbacks really struggled coming down the stretch last month and a half.
They have a ton of draft picks. They're going to find guys in a draft that, one, will help them, that will contribute, and they always find a way. Until the season starts, they're going to have to show me, like they did last year, where they didn't look like they were playing well, and so I picked against them. They're going to have to show me that before I pick against them.
Tom Brady threw for 3,100 yards last year, right? Like it was not. Thing is
that's not great for Brady for sure.
No, and in this NFL, it's not. And then you look at his production at the end of the season. Remember his last. You know, he struggled against Pittsburgh. He struggled against Buffalo. He did have four. Then he had 4 touchdown passes against the Jets. You know,
but he made plays when he had to. You go back to the Kansas City game. That throw down the sideline to Gronk with Eric Berry covering him.
Yes,
great throw.
No,
same thing against the Rams. A Gronk down the seam, great throw. So he made plays when needed.
But he also threw 2 and what would have been 3 interceptions if D4 didn't line up offside. Like we do. Like we only remember the end of the movie. We don't remember any of the meat of it. And the meat of it is Brady is not the same Brady.
The meat of it was they won. And so he touches the ball every snap. And so you can't – they've earned enough respect to where if you say they're going to win 13 games, okay, they got to prove to me that they can't.
This reminds me – we'll get to LeBron in a second. This reminds me of LeBron that had the 48.5 was their win total. We'll see how that worked out. See how that worked out in Vegas. I want to ask you about the Khalil Mack trade. When it happened, I was the only guy seemingly saying, I love it for the Raiders. It wasn't just trading away Khalil Mack. It was he wanted a huge deal. And they didn't get one. They got 2 first-round picks that everyone said, you'll never get 2 first-round picks for a defensive player. Never going to happen. Then he gets 2 first-round picks, and people continue to make fun of Jon Gruden like he's a complete idiot. He knew he didn't have a good team, and he got 3 first-round picks for 2 players who are good, but 2 players who wanted to get paid, and he wasn't willing to pay them what the going rate was, actually above going rate for Khalil Mack. Now the Sloan Analytics Conference came out and gave one award for the transaction of the year, and it was to him. And Gruden finally talked about the trade, and he said, here's the quote. If we did come up with the money to make the Mack contract happen last year, we wouldn't have had any of these men we're talking about right now. We wouldn't have had those 3 first-round picks we're talking about. Like he goes through, look at the guys. So in hindsight, and we don't know who they're going to draft, did Jon Gruden win that trade?
Oh, yeah. When you can get Antonio Brown, Trent Brown, LaMarcus Joyner, Burfict, Tyrell Williams, of course you won it. I would prefer those players over just Khalil Mack, me personally. And you add in the first-round picks. But he could have still signed Khalil Mack and added 1 or 2 of those players had they chosen to do so.
They didn't have any money. Khalil Mack's had $90 million. There's not always money.
Yes, there is. You can get around this salary cap. That's an excuse that the front office people, we don't have enough money. Everybody's operating under the same set of rules. You have enough money. It's just a matter of, do you want to spend it on this guy? And they just choose not to do it. That's what goes on the majority of the time. But I will say, the first-round picks. They got 2 for Khalil Mack and all these guys in free agency.
Yes.
It's not even close that the Raiders won this. Not close.
Ben Roethlisberger and Joy reported this as part of the news. It appears that he's going to cancel his weekly radio show, a radio appearance. Good move or bad move?
I believe that's a smart move on his behalf. If he's not able to filter himself, if he can't do that to himself, then it's a smart move. I had a radio show in Cincinnati for 4 or 5 years, did it once a week. And obviously I'm not being asked the questions that Ben's being asked, but you just have to say a bunch of things without saying anything, not to throw anybody under the bus. So if he can't do that himself, I think it's very smart.
Why do these guys do it? Like, what is the, why, like, he makes a ton of money, right? You don't make a ton of money doing the weekly radio thing. You get
you
you
don't.
get like a free car,
They'll
right?
give you a car or they'll pay you X amount for the whole year.
What is the win in doing it?
Just connecting with the fans, and that's all I can think of. You connect with the fans, but there's people within the organization that will come to you and ask you to do it. You don't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna do the radio show." You go to the head coach, you go to people upstairs, and you say, "What do you guys think about this?" And they'll give you the go-ahead to do it.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.